What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. So I got to get back to my workload. Got a lot of edits, a lot of things that I'm working on, a lot of good new content for you guys. But I want to put my prediction out there for tomorrow's fights. We have in the main event Ruslan Provodnikov versus Chris Algieri. Great fight, and I'll explain that more. And Demetrius Andrade making his return to the ring at 154 against a UK fighter named Brian Rose. So I want to give you guys my quick breakdown and my thoughts. I'll start off with Demetrius Andrade. And just in case you guys caught the interview, I did an interview with Demetrius Andrade. My opinion has nothing to do with knowing the fighter, being cool with the fighter, or nothing like that. This is my honest opinion. And that's what I give you on my channel. I'm not going to sway my opinion based on a personal relationship. If it was that serious to me, I probably just wouldn't do a prediction video. If I was so influenced to the point where I felt it wasn't in my best interest to give you a prediction. Anyway, Demetrius Andrade and Brian Rose. Brian Rose, don't know as much about him. I have seen him fight. I've looked at some of his highlights on, or what you want to call highlights, on YouTube. I'm definitely going with Demetrius Andrade. I think late stoppage. Brian Rose seems tough enough, game enough to hang around there. So I'll say late stoppage, maybe rounds like 9 through 11, somewhere right around there. I think Demetrius Andrade, I think he's just too good, too skilled. A lot of European fighters, not all, but a lot, have like this wider stance. I think Demetrius Andrade is very long, no homo, but he's very lanky, long arms, long legs. But if you look at his legs look strong. He doesn't have like twig legs like a Deontay Wilder or something, even though we all know Deontay Wilder has power. But he looks like he has a strong base behind him. He's very fast. He's very athletic, and he has that championship level experience. He has the better resume in terms of like just fighting Vanes Martirosyan. Is a guy who's been in there with Erislandy Lara. To me, is more impressive than anybody on Brian Rose's resume. So just for that, just being on a televised American performance, and I also like to see fighters battle adversity. I've seen Pacquiao with a cut in the Eric Morales first fight. I've seen Mayweather battle a nasty cut in the Maidana fight. So I like to see that. I've seen Keith Thurman have to box more and not just use and rely on his power in the Diego Chavez fight. I like that. I like to see that, to see what the fighters do when they have to have or resort to a plan B. And I think I've seen that in Demetrius Andrade. I've seen that will to win, that drive. When he fought Vanes Martirosyan, he got caught with a good shot. And, I mean, anytime you go down to the canvas, I'm sure it's embarrassing. You know this is your moment. You were favored to win, I believe, in the Demetrius Andrade-Vanes Martirosyan fight. You get knocked down, and it's how you bounce back from that, what you do next. And I think Demetrius Andrade, he went on to completely pretty much shut out Vanes Martirosyan. The split decision, as I mentioned in the interview with Demetrius, was bullshit. And I like how he composed himself and he gathered himself after that knockdown. He may have lost that round based on that, but he composed himself and he got back to the game plan and what he knows best, and that's boxing. So overall, I think he's just too skilled for Brian Rose. This is kind of a stay busy fight. I don't really see Brian Rose pulling the upset, doing anything that we don't expect him to do. I think, again, he's game to hang around. Looks like he's in good shape at the weigh-ins. I just don't see him lasting the course of 12. And if he did, I still see him losing. I don't see him doing enough to beat Demetrius Andrade. Again, too athletic, the youth, the skill, the experience, whether it's the Olympics or like even the Vanes Martirosyan fight, televised performance. I think it's his moment. He has the momentum. He's the undefeated fighter with something to prove. So I'm rocking with Demetrius Andrade, late stoppage. Then in the Ruslan Provodnikov versus Chris Algieri fight. This is an underrated fight, and I'm actually shocked more people aren't talking about this. Chris Algieri, he's from Long Island, a.k.a. Strong Island. Very technical boxer. He uses his height pretty good. He has a good, strong jab, and he's more of a clinical boxer. Ruslan, you don't really need an introduction. Ruslan comes to bring it. He comes to fuck you up. He comes to hurt you, for lack of a better word. He comes to bring the pain. So Ruslan Provodnikov, he's entertaining. You don't have to be a diehard boxing extremist, boxing purist. There's nothing necessarily just pretty. He doesn't prance around. There's no finesse. You know what he comes to do. Kind of like a Brandon Rios. So he's an easy watch for just casual boxing fans or even diehard boxing fans because of his style. I really like Ruslan Provodnikov. I've also been on record on my video on my channels stating that, in my opinion, I just think Ruslan Provodnikov is one of the best active brawlers. There's boxers who rely on boxing, finesse, speed, jab, game plan, and then you got some people who are just outright brawlers. They can brawl, cut off the fucking ring. They have devastating power, etc. And I think Ruslan, in my opinion, is one of the best at that style. Now, he doesn't have much of a defense. He's working on the technical side of his game, but he's entertaining and he has that monstrous power, cuts off the ring. He's tough. He has a chin. So I'm looking forward to this fight a lot. A very good, interesting clash of styles. Chris Algieri also is, in terms of his record, he's undefeated as well as tall. And we've seen Timothy Bradley outbox the shit out of Ruslan Provodnikov, hurt in those middle rounds. Now, for my prediction, I'm picking Ruslan Provodnikov. I think he has the momentum. He has the bigger fights, whether he won or lost them. He fought against the Mauricio Herrera, another stealthy, crafty. And I interviewed Mauricio Herrera as well. And Herrera told me himself that Ruslan can crack. He says out of all the people he's fought, the hardest punchers were Ruslan and Canelo. He told me that specifically. So what better way than to trust the person who's been in the ring with them? You know what I'm saying? So I got to take his word for it that Ruslan can crack. And also based and formulated on the fact that Timothy Bradley almost got destroyed in the first 2 rounds of his fight. And Timothy Bradley looks like he had a pretty good chin when he fought everybody else, even Pacquiao. So I think Ruslan's power is the real deal. The reason I'm picking him is just the battle of attrition. I think Chris Algieri, when it comes to boxing, is a far better boxer, technical boxer, than Ruslan Provodnikov. But what I do know about Ruslan is he is relentless. He has a chin. He cuts off the ring well. If one thing, you got to be in great fucking shape, which Timothy Bradley must have been in their fight. And Chris Algieri, and that's another reason it's interesting, he's sliced. He's always in good shape from what I've seen, and he's tall. So very different contrast of styles. So I think Chris Algieri, based on him being in shape, being a smarter boxer, is going to hang around for a little bit. But I think overall, round after round, getting hit with those severe blows, I think something is going to connect. And then once that does happen, I just see Ruslan going in for the kill. So probably right around the time he stopped Mike Alvarado, whatever round that was, like round 9 through 12. I mean, Ruslan's dangerous all 12 rounds. So I see a late stoppage in this one as well, just because I think the battle of attrition is going to break Chris Algieri down. And all it takes is the right shot. And Ruslan, we know he applies the pressure. Another reason, Chris Algieri, not much of a puncher. He has, I think, almost 20 fights, and he has less than half of those fights have ended via KO. So he's not necessarily a puncher. Neither was Timothy Bradley, but Bradley, to me, is a very, very underrated boxer. So I think he knows when to brawl. He knows when to bang in most situations. And I think Bradley's a little bit slicker and quicker than Chris Algieri. And a lot of people bag on Timothy Bradley's punching power, but it looks better than some people give credit for. Now, I'm not saying he's Lucas Matisse or, Gennady Golovkin, but I think Timothy Bradley's punching power is downplayed significantly. I think Paulie Malignaggi at 47 probably hits lighter than Timothy Bradley. That's just my opinion from what I've seen, because if you look at the Pacquiao rematch, Timothy Bradley hit Pacquiao with the shot that woke him up, that woke his game up and lifted Pacquiao up. I know Pacquiao's not the biggest welterweight, but still, Pacquiao has showed a good, tough chin, sturdy beard in the past. So I think, like I said, I'm not trying to vouch for Timothy Bradley's power or say he's the most powerful dude, but I think it's better than like a Paulie Malignaggi. I don't think he's the lightest puncher, like where you don't feel anything. So that's just my opinion. I think Chris Algieri is going to get broken down in those later rounds. He's going to look good. He's going to make it competitive. And again, that's going to stem from probably he has a speed advantage. He has the boxing IQ advantage. He has the height advantage, the reach advantage. I'm sure he has longer arms because it looks like Ruslan has T-Rex arms. But the battle of attrition is where guys lose to Ruslan, is they can't keep up with that frenetic pace, or why as soon as they start getting tired from keeping this dude off of them, then it's just a wrap because he's going to corner you and then just abuse. And like I said, he moved up to 47, fought Timothy Bradley, and had Timothy Bradley hurt even in the 12th round, and that's at 147. Now, I just don't think Chris Algieri, although he's the better boxer, I don't think he has the firepower to keep Ruslan off of him for all 12 rounds. Plus, he doesn't really have that experience. I think Ruslan has underrated experience. He's been in there with DeMarcus Corley. He's been in there at least sparring with Manny Pacquiao, who's a legend. He's been on a televised performance against Timothy Bradley. He beat Mike Alvarado, who was coming off a win defending at home. People sleep on little details like this. He destroyed Ruslan in Colorado. Alvarado's from Colorado or whatever. And Alvarado was coming off a redemption win against Brandon Rios at home, hometown advantage, and Ruslan did his fucking thing. Plus, Ruslan says things like in an interview with Alvarado for that fight, he said he's going to light candles and pray for him, for Alvarado, and just crazy shit. Like, this man is serious. He's really on a mission. And he also said in this fight, I'm willing to die in this fight. So I got to believe him. I think he just comes from that cloth. He's from Siberia, and he's not joking. He really wants his respect and the respect of the fans. I think that means a lot to him. He's been boxing since he's a kid. Again, more experience, more power. And honestly, I think he has more momentum. He knows if he looks good in this fight, he might get that Pacquiao fight, which I made a video about last night. So Ruslan, I think just, again, the battle of attrition is going to slowly break Chris Algieri down, get him out of his boxing. The moment he gets out of his boxing, it's a wrap. Or the moment he gets tired, anything like that. So Ruslan, he doesn't really have much to worry about in terms of if he goes balls to the wall, because this dude has 8 KOs in 19-20 fights. And I just don't think that's enough to warrant his respect and keep him off of him. He might get frustrated. Like I said, the rounds and the early goings are probably going to be competitive. But as soon as he slows up just a tad, that's when it's Ruslan's fight. Let me know what you guys think of my prediction. Am I right? Am I wrong? Make sure you like the video. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego, signing off.